know when you hear those like weird rumours and you think, that can't be true. You know? I start them sometimes.
Oh, no.
You know, I started one that George Foreman has no fingerprints. Yeah. I started that and it spread. It got online.
Where are you from? Oh, I like your hair. Did you knit that cardi yourself? Ladies and gentlemen, Ross Noble.
Very much.
Morning, Ross.
Breaking down my entire career. One sentence. How absolutely delightful to be here.
Nice to see you.
Shall we just launch into the elephant in the room immediately?
Which is?
I've created a monster.
Well, you have created a monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are to blame.
Yeah.
Ross Noble.
Have you explained?
You can explain.
Well, so I was in here chatting about performing at the London Palladium on the last tour.
Yeah.
Yes. But I will be returning there on this tour.
Yeah, a couple
Let's
of
not
dates.
pretend that I've retired or anything. So it was in here and... oh yes, it was the Odeon, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
that's
So wow, here we go. Let's rewind.
This is why I said I think you love coming on the show, because it's so random. It fits you like a glove.
We just pick up from where we left off, be it 6 months ago, be it 2 years ago. Yeah.
So it would be 4 years ago then, wouldn't it? No, hang on.
I don't know.
Anyway, so it was when The Creator came out, do you remember?
Yes.
So there was a film called The Creator, and I had come in here, and next door was at the Odeon Cinema, it said The Creator, and I was going to go after to see it, put it into Google, Odeon, The Creator, and instead of it giving me the cinema times, it gave me a history of the man who started Odeon Cinema.
Lovely.
Who was called Oscar Deutsch.
That's it.
That
I was
was
trying
him.
to think of his name. Oscar Deutsch, yeah.
So he's called Oscar Deutsch, the founder of Odeon Cinema. And then we talked about that, and then somehow we ended up, we're talking about me being at the Palladium, and then you jokingly said, we'd like to play the Palladium.
Yeah.
So I said, well, why don't you play the Palladium? Why don't you come on as a Victorian-style musical duo called Oscar and Deutsch, spinning plates.
That's right.
And then a lot of people would have gone, fair enough.
And left it there.
Yeah. And your eyes lit up and went, whoa, we can play the London Palladium.
Yeah.
So then jump forward to the, there's
the video we're just watching now.
video there. And
Luckily, we're looking excellent.
yes, and so at my gig, so we do the show, and then at the very end, I say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Oscar and Deutsch. And there was, let's be honest, confusion.
Yes.
There was
confusion.
mass confusion.
There was delight from some and confusion from others.
And disappointment from many.
Yeah.
But the plate spinning thing, though, what was great was Ross can actually spin plates.
Very,
and
very
we
well,
can't.
yeah.
So he goes, please welcome Oscar and Deutsch, and we come on to spin plates, and then we just give one to Ross, and then Ross balances it perfectly on his chin and spins a plate, whilst I'm just picking up mine off the floor every 2 seconds.
It's very difficult.
But to be fair, I think a lot of people nowadays, the young people,
Yeah.
you know, the hip-happening crowds
Yeah.
that come to see me, I think a lot of them don't remember the glory days of the musical.
No.
True.
And the fact that if you've seen plate spinning, you know, in our youth on television, you know, the Paul Daniels Magic Show.
Of course.
It's happened a
Yes.
lot. There was people doing paper tearing, that sort of thing.
Tom even flicked his foot out.
I
there.
don't know why I did that,
He was wearing a cape as well. you know what you look like? You look like one of them sick kids that wants to dress up as Superman. That's what you look like. You look like they've just gone, yeah, bring him in.
Bring him in.
And so I think a lot of people at that show thought that there was an old act where people used to drop plates and pick them up.
That's right. He was very accurate.
I was very good at that act.
And to be fair, there was large members of the Greek community that thought it was a fitting tribute
That's
to their
right.
culture. So that's episode 2 of the on-running
Yeah.
situation.
So basically, so I don't know how much this you know. So Dominic, every time we had somebody on who was playing the Palladium, Dom goes, I want to play the Palladium, right?
I'd love to play.
So,
Are you sure he wasn't?
No.
Surely you would have gone, well, I've played the Palladium.
well, no, but
This
this
was
point we
before,
hadn't, right?
yeah.
So when you said, oh, do you want to play? So anyway,
Oh, right. I think
so
you mean-
every time after that, someone who come on or the Palladium would get mentioned, Dom goes, we should play the Palladium. And I went, have you done anything about it? He goes, well, I rang a man up and asked how much it is to book the Palladium, and it's quite expensive.
It's not cheap, is it?
It's not cheap.
And that's, sorry, just quickly, but what I love about that venue is the fact that if you're booking that venue, you better be pretty you better be pretty convinced you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, there's some venues, I won't mention, some venues, you can kind of get away with it. You know what I mean? London Palladium.
Yeah.
They ain't letting anyone in through the door.
We had
up until now.
Clinton Baptiste came on and sat in that chair, and he's playing the Palladium next year, and was physically sweating as he was announcing it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm petrified. So much so, I went online afterwards and bought tickets because I'm like, you got to help a brother out. So anyway, fast forward. In March of this year, I'm like, he's not doing anything about it.
I got the price. That was it. I got the quote.
So I'll do it. So behind his back, I called up the people and said, let's do a show at the Palladium, but Dominic doesn't know anything about it. So we got the dates on the date.
Sorry, once again, sorry to interrupt. Was there a point where they went, is this the right Chris Moyles? They go, sorry, do you have a show? Did they ask you at any point?
No. Well, they said, what is it? And I went, it's like an evening with Chris Moyles and Dominic Byrne.
Right,
and they went, okay, what, telling stories and that? I went, sure.
Sure. If that works, sure.
Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah.
Well, there's the first question.
Right. So we do it, we get it all sorted, and this takes a good few months to get it all finalised and in the diary and get the date and everything like that, and the money and all that.
Yeah.
Lovely. So for one night only, we're going to play the Palladium. So then I told Dominic on the air, I basically said, we're going to play a game called...
Guess what I've done?
We're going to play a game called... whatever.
Guess what I've done?
It was pretty much.
To be honest, there's a certain era of radio presenters you wouldn't want to play that game with.
Well, we played. I've done it, done what or something.
Yeah.
So I go, I've done it. And he goes, done what? I'm like, there you go. And he goes, no, but what have you done? I went, you tell me. And he's like, well, I don't know. I said, I've done it. And he goes, what? I've done it. Oh, I dragged it out for a good hour. I've done it. I've done it. I've done what? I've done it. Dom, look at me. I've done it. And eventually he went, oh my God, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. I went, yes, I have. And tickets go on sale on Friday. Yeah. And he's like, no way.
He told me Monday, pre-sale Wednesday, and there was tickets went on sale on Friday. That was a busy week.
And we sold it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. So then...
The promoter goes...
You ring them back and you go, you know that show that we haven't worked out? We're doing another. We're going to need a bigger theatre.
Well, we'd also made the poster saying for one night only. So the second show is for one night only again.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We can bank on that.
And again, we will do... So we got to go, right, a show, and then we're ready to go.
Other than that, we're there.
Brilliant. I love it.
Have you got any old jokes?
I have. You can go back through my old DVDs.
Brilliant.
You can have the lot. I don't know if it would make any sense.
No, it might not do.
Look, this is...
Yeah, so thank you, Ross.
Yeah, thank you.
Planting that seed that's turned into an average.
And Ross,
tree.
when we are about to walk out on stage, when the night finally comes, and we're in the wings, and this is it, we're playing the Palladium, sold out. Ross will be thousands of miles away at the other side of the globe.
Yeah, I was fast asleep from
laughing my head off. You know what, though? What I love about it is the fact that I'm a big fan of just going with something. You know that thing where you just go, oh, this is a stupid idea. Well, let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen?
Yes.
And I love the fact that this is... But are you slightly...
Well, the worst thing that will happen is I'll lose £46,000.
Yeah. But other than that... Though.
All right, well, here's what I would say. Oh, no, because you know that you've sold the tickets.
Yeah, we'll go.
Because what I was going to say was, why don't you just double down... What I would say now, if you hadn't put it on sale, I would say take that money, put it on a horse, and then you either cover cover the losses or you.
We're going to do a raffle. Each ticket's £1,000.
That's right.
Just to try and cover the excess.
Yeah. And so where is the show? Where is it? So you don't have the show yet.
We've had
we've had 2 meetings though.
Brilliant.
Over at Chris's house.
One for each night.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We had hummus and pita chips for our lunch.
Lovely. That's not your new name after Oscar and Deutsch. Ladies and gentlemen, hummus and pita chips.
Oh.
That could be culturally insensitive. You won the Greek community the first time, and then you've pushed them away.
No, they'd love it. Well, they'd love half the act.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
The pita chips I'm not so keen on. Hummus has got all the talent in that duo.
It's all on hummus.
What we did was we worked out, and by the end of the first chat, so we chatted before, I don't know, and then we had the proper meeting, and then Dominic goes, do you know what? We've pretty much got the skeleton down. We got what we're going to do, which is great. Yeah. And then I looked at the list that night. I'm having a cup of tea and sitting on the sofa, and I just went, hold on, here's what we've done. We were slapping ourselves on the back going, job well done,
Show
we got
done.
this.
Yeah.
But it was things like opener, whatever, this, that and the other, blah, 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 a couple of gags. And then it'll be like, Chris does 10 minutes. And then we'll do this other bit, and then there's other. Dom does 10 minutes.
Dom talks about stuff for 10 minutes.
And I just went, we've got to write those 10-minute bits as well.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
well,
important, isn't it?
Well, like, we've done Act 1, it's done.
Yeah.
Apart from actual what that is, what that is. We basically just filled the gaps.
No, but to be fair...
On paper, it looks great.
But if you were to see my show on paper, it would literally say, come on, talk for a bit, interval. But here's the thing, right? So, obviously, there's a lot of people, let's be fair, there are a lot of people, mainly... I would say podcasty type people, right? You know, they don't have a proper building like this.
Right.
There's a lot of podcasty type people who are now going on tour.
That's right.
Yes,
and
that's
there's
right.
a lot. I tell you what else there's a lot of. Go on. There's a lot of, what should we call them? Television... No, I'm not going to say experts. Do you know people that sort of...
Right.
Or on telly that... They do a bit, I don't know what
I know
they
you
do.
mean.
Do you know what I mean? Like, sort of...
You don't want to name names, just name names.
They're people in barber jackets that walk around a bit. You know the people I'm on about?
Kind of, yeah.
And it's that evening with, and you go, really?
Oh, yes, I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those people that you just go, what, that's a show, is it? And people come along and just go, have you got any questions? And like, what's it like when you're walking up that hill with a barber jacket on, pointing at a thing? You know, there's a lot of that going on.
No, there is, yeah.
So I would say, well, I think as you are, you know, you started as a variety act and now you've branched out.
Yeah.
I think personally, and look, I don't want to insert myself as some sort of consultant.
Oh, no, we'd love you to write the show.
Definitely.
Ross, insert yourself as much as you want at the moment.
And look, I know you went for 2 meetings at Chris's house. I know you're thinking, well, that's a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
How long have we got left on it? I reckon we can get this show written on air in real time now.
Oh, my God.
You know what I would like to put forward?
Come on.
Go on.
I tell you what, I'll take the minutes.
Honestly, take this down because I think I'm going to suggest this, and I think your eyes are going to light up here.
Go on.
Come on.
It does mean spending some of that sweet cash on bringing somebody on, right? Obviously, you started as a variety act,
Sure.
right? There is a variety act who I consider to be one of the funniest acts you'll ever see, ever, right?
Yeah.
From the old school variety days, who is still very much alive, right? Gentlemen, I put forward
You're going to say it, aren't you?
Bernie Clifton.
No!
Oh, no.
Bernie Clifton.
Now, we've got an association with Bernie.
We have an in with Bernie.
We do.
We do have an in.
Wow. We do have an in. In
Are
fact,
you saying
only
with ostrich or not with ostrich?
Well, this is the thing.
It's up to Bernie, I guess.
Like I've loved Bernie Clifton for years, right? And he's so much more than the ostrich.
The ostrich now, by the way, is in a wheelchair. Just to let you know.
That's absolutely.
Or at least on a Zimmer.
Well, to be fair, he does have a bit where he dresses as a nun on a motorised. So he basically gets on a sort of motorised thing and then flies around the stage as a motorised nun. So it's not far off, actually. The first time
Do we need to sell your tour? Because we're running out of time and I'm loving this, but...
Okay, right, here's the thing. Right?
Yeah.
Let's just say it. Cranium of Curiosities, Ross Noble on tour. I'll be at the Palladium next year. I will also be in across the. Oh, look at that! There you go. I'm starting next week
in St Albans,
and I go right through until next year. RossNoble.com. Get your tickets. I think we've done that now. But so basically,
I'm going to write down a name because I don't want to say it on the air.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is somebody that we want to contact.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
He's writing it down. Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we're on the same wavelength.
It's a nod to the variety thing.
Absolutely. 100%. And by the way, that name that you wrote down there, I have seen live, and
Yeah, thumbs up.
Still killing it.
Absolutely. So
Great.
For the younger listeners, Bernie Clifton is known for he's the guy with the ostrich.
Yeah.
Looks like he's riding an ostrich. And I had heard a rumour years and years ago. A friend of mine, just daft mate of mine, said, "Oh yeah, what?" Bernie Clifton.
I once said if a grown man rode around on the back of an ostrich in Leeds, he'd be arrested.
Oh, there you go.
And then we had a bit of a feud.
A bit of beef with
But
Bernie.
we've fixed it now.
okay.
And we're big
Now
fans
it's
of
gone
each other.
Well, now it's the healing moment on stage, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's the first the Gallaghers come together, and now the Moyles Clifton reconciliation. So a friend of mine years ago, like I love, when you hear those like weird rumours and you think that can't be true. I start them sometimes.
Oh, no.
I started one that George Foreman has no fingerprints. Yeah. I started that and it spread. It got online. People genuinely think it's true. Anyway, the point is, Bernie Clifton, a friend of mine, when I was a kid, he said, Bernie Clifton bought a microlight aircraft and he learned to fly it, but he painted it up like an ostrich so he could write it off against tax. And I said to my mate, I was like, that's a good one. Anyway, years later, I met Bernie and I said, a friend of mine took you. You think, why not? That's why there was one time I nearly did a chat show with Richard Gere and he cancelled at the last minute.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
Okay, let's not do that.
Yeah.
So Bernie, I met him and I said, and I didn't I said, have you ever been in a microlight aeroplane? Thinking he'd just gone, no, and move on. And he went, I've got a microlight airplane. I said, really? He went, yeah. I landed it in my back garden. He goes, I painted it up like an ostrich. It's called Ostrich One. And so Bernie Clifton is
my God.
proper variety.
Yes.
And I think it's one of those things where get him to come on, get him to do a little part of the show, but then you two, ostriches, dance routine.
Oh, now
see
you're
what I'm
talking.
saying?
Yes,
I think that could be your finale. I think there could be a sort of,
love that.
maybe the Macarena or something.
Oh my
God!
God. Now, should we get Tarby out of retirement to then go in and out of the interval like it's Sunday night at the London Palladium?
Absolutely.
I think has he fully retired now, Tarby?
I kind of guess, but he might do it for us.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if Tarby is still doing 6 nights a week around.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
he might still be. Look, I'm just saying.
I love it.
You can't go wrong with it.
I'm pleased that we booked you as a guest for you to come on and talk about our show.
we need to pay you for a bit of consultancy role here.
I'll no, I was going to say next week, but I'm not here next week.
You're not
We
here
did
next
actually read out all your dates earlier. To be fair,
Yeah, we did.
Don't look.
I know.
What am I coming in here?
You're
just
gonna
to
sell out
to
anyway,
plug me
Ross.
show?
That's why 99.99% of people who sit in that chair are doing yes.
No, but I like to come in because it's fun.
I know.
And also, I know that some people aren't susceptible to my nonsense.
We've just Googled in The Guardian, George Foreman mentions in his first biography that he lost his fingerprints in an accident with chemical drain cleaner at the age of 23.
That sounds like Ross Noble.
You made that up.
No. And, and there was a thing on one of the boxing forums that, because loads of other people got involved in it, this was sort of like pre-social media, where if you wanted to start something viral, you had to do it. Like, did I ever tell you about Oh, no, I haven't got time for that.
Yeah, I've got like 60 seconds.
So basically, there was a bunch of kids in Perth in Western Australia, and they made up stickers, speech bubbles, and they went into a large, like a Curry's, like a white goods store. They found a massive pile of George Foreman grills, and the picture of him on the front, they stuck a speech bubble above his face on every single one that said, "Oh, and by the way, I have no fingerprints."
Every day must just be another joy waking up, and who knows what lies ahead. Go to Ross's website, rossnoble.com.
Yes, that's
rossnoble.com. and you're back out on the road from Wednesday.
Yep.
What are you going to do between now and then?
I think we've got a lot of meetings to do with
you and me. Okay,
yeah,
great.
with us.
Yeah, great.
All right, good. Well, let's get cracking then.
Free and Bernie Clifton.
We got to go to the costume shop and kill an ostrich and hollow it out.
I don't know if this ostrich is my colour. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Ross Noble, everybody.
Radio X.